can understand why there wasn't a need for the word vegan, because vegetarians were just literally vegetarians. They ate vegetables and plant vegetation.
So what's the difference between vegans and vegetarians anyway? The first thought that comes to your mind might be about what they eat. Yes, this is a large part of what makes them different. However, you'll soon learn that what distinguishes vegans and vegetarians apart involves a long history and much more than simply dietary factors. First, it is essential to understand that there are many different levels of vegetarianism. At the most strict level, we have veganism, which excludes all animal products from the diet. Next, we have lacto-vegetarians who do consume dairy. And then we have ovo-vegetarians who consume eggs. Next, we have lacto-ovo-vegetarians, which, as you guessed, includes eggs and dairy in their diet. Then we have two more uncommon terms. One is poultarian, who do include poultry as well as eggs and dairy in their diet. And then we have pescatarian, who you may have heard of, who include fish and seafood, as well as dairy and eggs in their diet. In most cases, when someone says that they are vegetarian, you can assume that they mean that they are lacto-ovo-vegetarian, which are the majority of vegetarians out there, who do not consume meat but do use eggs and dairy in their diet. I mean, I honestly don't even think that these last two, poultarian and pescatarian, should belong anywhere on the vegetarian list because it does involve animal flesh, so it just doesn't make sense to me. But it's a good first step. However, I'm sure we all know people that rarely eats red meat and maybe sometimes eats chicken or fish that would fit in these categories, but I never hear them calling themselves vegetarians. They are just omnivores. So this is also why I feel like these terms might be a little unnecessary. More recently, a new unofficial term has been thrown around, and that's flexitarian, which means a person who mostly eats plant foods with the occasional meat item on the menu. Again, if you consider yourself a flexitarian, I feel that there's not really a need for this term, as it really has no solid meaning. It is, well, flexible. But like I said, on a health and environmental aspect, if you consider yourself any of these terms on the vegetarian spectrum, you're doing better than nothing, and it's a good first step, especially if you are using this as a transitional period from a standard diet moving towards a vegan diet. So with that said, I commend these people for your effort and lovingly advise you to continue to get educated like you're doing right now. What many people do not realize is that veganism involves much more than dietary factors alone. Vegetarianism is usually about the practice of a diet. And this can be due to many reasons, including allergies, health reasons, medical reasons, religious reason, or just for the heck of it. On the other hand, we have veganism, which is a philosophy and lifestyle that dictates diet. So we have vegetarianism, which is the practice of a diet, and we have veganism, which is a lifestyle that dictates your diet. So for example, think of it as a person who decided not to eat meat anymore and considers themselves a vegetarian, whereas another person decides to go vegan and therefore no longer eats meat. So there's a little bit of what came first here. There is evidence of people choosing to avoid animal products dating back to over 2,000 years ago. But interestingly enough, prior to 1944, the word vegan did not even exist. Vegans just used to be called vegetarians. I mean, if you think about it, it only makes sense that the word vegetarian means someone who only eats, well, vegetation. So I can understand why there wasn't a need for the word vegan, because vegetarians were just literally vegetarians. They ate vegetables and plant vegetation. However, a small group of vegetarians who avoided all animal products decided that it was time for a shift and a movement for a new word to describe them and other non-dairy vegetarians. And thus the word vegan was born. Now, the official definition of veganism from the Vegan Society is the philosophy and way of living which seeks to exclude as far as is possible and practicable all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose, and by extension promotes the development and use of animal-free alternatives for the benefit of humans, animals, and the environment. My short definition of veganism is doing the least harm. So as you can see, this is where veganism expands outside of only dietary factors. It includes the avoidance of products that include animal-derived ingredients or cruelty to animals, and this involves seeking out alternative products such as cruelty-free makeup, vegan makeup, faux leather, faux fur clothing if that's what you're into, and also environmentally friendly products that we use every day, and etc. I know that when I was thinking about going vegan, the change of food choices and potential health benefits were obvious and expected. But it wasn't enough to fully buy me into going vegan. But as soon as I learned about the ethical and environmental arguments, I thought, nothing can stop me now. I know too much, and now I have no choice. So then after going vegan, I realized the other aspects that were involved aside from just what I could and could not eat. So then I slowly started to reevaluate, and I'm still doing this now on a continuing process, the types of products that I purchase and which companies I support. But I will be discussing these and other aspects of veganism versus vegetarianism in future videos more specifically, so make sure to subscribe so you'll know as soon as those videos are up. So I hope that cleared everything up for you. Please give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful, and I'll see you next time. And the seeking out of alternatives. I know that when I was thinking about going vegan, you are doing a lot better than the standard over 2,000 years ago. But interestingly enough, dating back to over 2,000 years ago, but interesting for a new word to describe them. Dairy vegetarians apart